and welcome to PDX Gaming Productions, Knights of Faded Roses. This is our first gaming session, so welcome. We want to bring to you a Portland, Oregon-based Vampire the Masquerade. This is currently non-canon, just so that everyone is aware, and these are main rules with a little bit of a house twist, so feel free to, take these under advisement. Rules, as we all know, are more guidelines than anything. So we want to thank, first of all, Willamette Falls Studios for having us here. And we're going to get into some introductions. So to my left.
My name is Andrew, and I am playing Sheehan.
I'm Robert, and I'm playing John Spencer Morrissey.
I'm Di, and I am playing Aliana.
Oh, we're going this direction?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Michael, and I am playing Alexandra Delisandra.
Hi, I'm Shannon. I'm playing Elisa Taylor.
And I am your storyteller, Elizabeth Hayes. And welcome. So, in the last 2 years, Portland has been a little challenged. More than a little challenged. As most of you have been here for at least 2 years, you know that what's happened is that the last prince unfortunately had a slight mishap. He died of natural causes. She died of natural causes, rather. When you get staked and then beheaded, naturally you're going to die. So, in the last 2 years, it's been a little more lawless, a little less careful as far as the Masquerade is concerned. This has also been compounded by a slight change in the local feeding because, well, we had this little thing called a pandemic. So everybody's been on lockdown. This has made a lot of people very, very hungry. Unless, of course, you happen to be a group who's had your own large cadre of humans to feed from. It's been challenging. Gangrels have been fighting, for the most part, trying to go ahead and get their own areas. And the few sheriffs that are left, that are in town, have been trying to maintain the Masquerade with very little luck. The 5 of you have been chosen by your respective bloodlines to represent them because they've had just about enough of this. With the upheavals down in Los Angeles and in San Diego, as well as the change in leadership in San Francisco and Vancouver, Portland is the last bastion that has no affiliation either with the Anarchs or with the Camarilla. So you have been asked to decide what it is going to happen here in Portland. Portland also happens to be a major hub line. It has I-5 running in and out of it. There's shipping, there's railroad, there's airlines. All of these are major bloodlines to everything around in the United States and beyond. So whoever controls Portland controls quite a bit of what comes in and goes out, whether it be illicit or not. The 5 of you have received invitations engraved, gold lettering, gold leaf, and inviting you to a neutral spot. Up until last year, it had been a very hip and swinging club, LGBTQ friendly. Embers was known in Old Town as the place to go. Unfortunately, it has closed down. However, it is still considered to be a space for the meeting of different clans and different bloodlines and places to decide what is going to happen to Portland. So, with that said, if each of you could go ahead and just do a rouse check for me. You guys are all just coming to, getting prepared. I just want to see where your hunger is right now.
How many dice is for that?
What do you roll on that?
It's 1d10.
It's a 1d10, and it's basically your rouse check is, you always have at least one hunger, so it's always one red dice with the rest of your experience.
So is it just the one then?
It's 1 plus your experience, so
How much experience we have spent or how much we have total?
how much you have right now.
2?
Okay, so you roll, let's see, 2 plus your, let's say a total of 4 basic dice plus 1 red, or plus your blood die, and we'll see how you are as far as your,
Okay, I apologize in advance, but I don't have an experience field.
Yeah.
And we're just looking for successes and failures, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know what a success or a failure is.
your experience at this point basically is, we'll say you have 4 of your percentile dice, and then 1 red dice.
So 5d10.
And success is anything under,
A success is anything 6 to 9,
okay.
6 and up.
And then 10 being critical?
10 being a critical success.
I have 3 successes.
You have 3 success, okay. What did you roll on your blood die?
6. It was a 6.
Okay, so
So success.
2 success, okay. What'd you roll on your blood die? 3, okay. So you're a little more hungry
Yeah.
than normal.
I got criticals, 1 critical, and fail on everything else.
Okay. So you're 1 more hunger than you would normally be.
What denotes a critical?
Critical is a 10.
Okay, so I have 1 critical. I have
You also have
a
a-
second success there. And I have a 5 on my blood die.
Okay, so
Isn't that a
you're,
critical fail?
Walk down
no,
Oh,
it's
a
just
one.
a
A
one,
one.
a 1 is a critical
Oh,
fail.
then I have a 1
He has a
critical
critical success.
So
and
you
a
are
fail.
a little more hungry
Single
than
hash.
you would normally be. You haven't fed in a little bit, so you're a little cranky.
You might also need a little hit.
left.
I'll wait till I get home. It's fine. I'm fine.
You're
Everything-
fine.
I'm fine, how are you?
So with this, I'd also like everybody to, just for ease of my figuring out who is coming into the nightclub first, if you could all take a d20 and roll for me.
I'm coming. Get a d20 from me. Oh, I mean, I guess I can use
Have a
one.
d20.
Here, have a d20.
We have tons of
thank you.
d20s. We have d20s, 15.
All right.
13.
Okay.
8.
Okay.
14.
14. Okay. You actually don't have to roll. And we'll get to that in a minute. So let's see here. Who was 20 to 15?
That was 15.
You were 15? You were 14?
13.
13?
14.
14? Okay. Are you two going to arrive together?
Yeah.
All right. So the 2 of you are going to arrive together. You're the first ones that arrive at the door.
Oh. We're early.
I was hoping we wouldn't be the first.
Yeah, me too.
but
There's 2 ghouls that happen to be standing out there. Fairly large individuals at that. And one looks more intelligent than the other. they open up the door, invite you in. They don't say much. And you are shown into...
No, thanks.
And you're shown into the area where there used to be a review, the drag queen review in the back. There's drinks if you want them. And you can choose wherever you'd like to go ahead and sit in.
I'm just gonna find a corner and sit down.
Okay?
I was gonna probably not sit down by him and probably just stand and have Chloe be on the other side of him.
Okay. You are going to be next coming in. Again, you come up to the door.
Given what this club is, and the fact that I've been here several times when it was open, do I know these bouncers?
You recognize one of them is Fluffy,
Okay.
who had worked there for years. So he nods to you. How's it going?
Good to see you. How have you been handling these trying times?
Well, it's a living. At least I still have a job.
At least there's that. We're going into the main room or the back?
Into the back. Just follow the way. You know how to get there.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Just going to walk on in, and as she walks in and sees those two sitting there, and then the rather large canine.
Yeah, my character's just like against the back wall pretending to sleep.
I see. Just going to walk over, just find a nice comfy chair and sit down and just observe.
Okay. And you finally arrive. Fluffy quirks an eye at you.
All right, mates.
Come on in.
All right, thanks.
And you get ushered in. You're already there.
Always assume there's one in the room.
You always assume there's one in the room, and there has been. In fact, they've been there the entire time.
Sit down.
Talking to me?
Sit down.
I'd rather not.
At least show a little courtesy in a domicile that isn't your own.
I like grab a chair and I like turn it around. I'm like,
Just
Better?
like that, then.
Thank you.
Well, at least he saw it.
You'll have to forgive him, he's barely housebroken.
Chloe growls at you. I'm like,
At least the canine is.
One final person walks in, which happens to be one of the sheriffs from Ventru clan. Well, I'm glad all of you have arrived. Welcome. Thank you. I am not going to make a decision. It's obvious that they didn't want me here.
thank God.
I wasn't chosen. The person who was chosen, unfortunately, has been called away. So, I'm just here to make sure that there's no bloodshed unless everybody's okay with it.
Storyteller
Adventure
question.
did not show up.
How long ago was it that Thera, the former prince, was killed?
Thera was killed about 26 months ago.
Wow, it's been, okay.
Yeah, it's been about 2.5 years at this point.
Okay.
6.
Well, it's about time we're trying to get some semblance of organization going here.
Well, regardless, I do know that my particular clan has determined that something needs to be done. Obviously, we would like to go ahead and see this become a Camarilla city once again.
Yeah, I bet you would.
Well, it wasn't as though we were getting any help from you.
Yeah, it's not like you've done anything in the last 2 years.
I've tried my best to run my area as best as
Look
possible.
where it's gotten you.
Well, we're here at the table now.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
So, I'm just here as a mediator.
Wow, that must feel quite insulting to you.
Well, I know I feel insulted having him here.
All right, look, mate. If we have to negotiate the terms of the negotiation, you can fuck right off.
I'm not here to make decisions either.
Then why are you here?
Because I got an invitation. I don't know why the gangrel selected me. I have no idea why. But I'm here because he's here too. And, fuck with the bull, you get the horns.
I'm here because they promised punch and pie.
Oh, what? They promised pie? My character looks around and he's like, oh, no, never mind.
Why did I leave Liverpool for this?
You left Liverpool because there wasn't anything left for you.
That's true.
Why'd I leave my research lab?
You left your research lab because you're the one that is able to go ahead and handle everything outside of your research lab. Most of the rest of your kindred aren't capable of handling anything above ground.
Excuse me?
Nosferatu.
Okay.
Sorry, but no. In any case, I've heard word from Los Angeles. There's been an uprising.
You can
About
say that.
damn time.
Just a bit.
Oh, not just any uprising.
I heard it made the Rodney King riots look like a cakewalk.
Whole reason we left.
Well, we don't want that happening here, thank you very much. We don't need another Inquisition.
Finally, something I can agree with Adventure on.
None of us needs an Inquisition, which is why we need to make a decision here and now as to who is going to go ahead and run this city.
You're wanting us to pick a prince tonight?
At the very least, you need to go...
I'm sorry. This is asinine.
At the very least, you need to make some decisions as to who's going to help run this country, run this particular city.
Run the country. Yeah,
Run the
because
country.
you Yanks have done a bloody great job of it so far, eh?
I'm not a Yank.
I didn't know we had to deal with the British in here either. Man, this place smells.
Yeah, about the time you showed up, then, eh?
Mouth.
Children, please.
No king shame.
This is what happens when you get all of us in the same room. I mean, did we really think we were going to make a decision here?
At the very least, you need to start making some decisions about how this city is going to be run.
Who's acting regent currently? Is there
No
an
one.
acting regent currently?
There is no acting regent current.
You see my point.
It's been me and one Toreador sheriff.
Oh,
That's it.
Which explains why everything's gone to shit.
Exactly. Something we agree on very closely.
Oh, blimey.
I will say, 1, 2, 3, not it.
That's funny because you were the prime suspect for me.
My life is way too public between my radio show and everything else. I don't want to be another. Yeah, I don't want to be another
You wanna hide
Baron of the
behind
Valley.
a mask. I understand. It's completely logical.
What about you? You've got ties.
Oh, I have ties. Yes. Ooh, I'm big man. But that's not why I'm here.
Why are you here?
Opportunity. That's why I'm here.
All right, then.
I'm not here to run the show. That's foolish, especially with what my predecessor did.
Bitch had it coming.
Care to elaborate on that, then?
But things are working elsewhere without the Ivory Tower's influence.
We have a problem.
And what might that be?
You have one problem?
Oh, all of us have a problem at the moment.
One great big swollen mother of a problem.
I've never had a problem protecting mine. No.
You haven't noticed.
Well, I mean, we did just kind of get here.
Yeah, I mean, we've only been here a little while.
There's an increase of thin bloods being created
I
in the
don't-
last year alone.
I did notice that in California.
Well, it's starting to happen here too.
They've started moving
Interesting.
off the island.
This is a problem. This
For
is a major
you?
problem. This is a major problem for all of us, thank you.
It's only a problem if we let it become a
I
problem.
think that's a perspective issue.
I think it's a masquerade issue. How many of these thin bloods are going to end up doing something, exposing us?
I seem to feel familiar with these acquisitions.
I just thought the Masquerade was overblown anyways.
I mean, it
Should all
has,
just go live in forests.
it has its uses in today's society.
It's more dangerous than ever with modern technology.
We can't go anywhere. We can't do anything without being videotaped. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
And once it's on the internet, it's forever.
No, it's not.
I have a dude who can tell you different, but you know.
Oh, yeah. Would you like to meet this one?
Yeah, no. He's mine.
It's always been my experience that once it's out there, it's there.
There's absolutely no way to go ahead and erase it completely. Someone's always going to have a copy somewhere.
I'm impressed that a Ventru can even concept that.
I do have some knowledge. I may be better at politics, but I do have a little bit of influence and understanding of the machinations thereof, those
Then you're
things.
doing better than your predecessor.
I've had to. It's how I've managed to survive this far.
So what does the Ventru want out of this?
Ventru, we simply want to go ahead and have a city that's run properly without thin bloods wandering their way through and being created every which way in every single
So-
homeless camp.
They want to control everything as usual.
I was just going to say what's different.
Right.
But
Nothing's really changed.
they do have a point.
But there's one thing I've noticed. There is no Ventru at this table.
There's no thin bloods at this table either.
No, that particular Ventru.
That's never going to happen, unfortunately.
No, I'm sorry, but the thin bloods, absolutely not.
Not with Ventru running the show,
That's what I'm saying. Maybe Ventru shouldn't run the show.
which is what we're here to hopefully try and work out.
It's kind of my whole point.
But I mean, that's my only, yeah. I was about to say that's my only opinion. I just don't think the Ventru should run it anymore.
My whole point is that
But I don't want to.
if we want everyone to feel like they're contributing and have a stake in things, then everyone should be at this table, and they're not.
No, because unfortunately, not everybody felt that it was necessary.
I presume you're referring to the other clans, or are you referring to trying to bring thin bloods into this discussion as well?
The
Both.
other clans.
Well, if the
I
other
would-
clans would control their childer, we
Yes.
wouldn't have this problem.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know why the Gangrel asked me to speak for them, but I also feel that their position is very similar to the Thin Bloods in the city right now. They
Well,
really
that
don't
is.
have a place to be.
That
And
is
that-
one of the problems that we want to
You
address.
guys still have
That's
the
part
park,
of why
don't
I'm
you?
here.
That's part of why I'm here as
You
well.
still have the region of the zoo, don't you?
If you can call it that. But I mean, I don't know. It is, there's no havens. There's no place. I've walked the city. I've seen, where my clan is, and they have very little. And I get looked down on because I'm a gangrel when I walk the city, and that's bullshit. I feel like I've done enough in my life that I deserve a bit more respect than that. And so that's why I'm here, because my people are woefully represented here, and I need to change that. So, but as a gangrel, I don't really feel like I want to be in charge either. So I mostly am just here to make sure whoever is in charge understands where my clan stands.
I'm not going to go so far as to agree with Baron Temple and say that we need to give the Thin Bloods everything they ever wanted. because that's just suicide.
No.
But I do think that we should attempt to engage some sort of dialogue with them before just calling a blood hunt.
If there's any way you wanted to give more power to the Anarchs, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, we've seen how they work close up.
And if the Thin Bloods are actually becoming a problem, then wouldn't it be more of a problem if they joined the Anarchs and became more of our problem? So I don't think isolating them from these proceedings is a good idea either. Because if we don't at least curry some favor with them, we're going to have a much bigger problem on our hands if they keep getting made. And we
And
give them
that's-
a reason to not like us.
That's the biggest problem right there, is they're like a kid in a rave without condoms. They're just going to town.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing we need to address. Do they have any sort of leadership defined?
Not as far as any of us can tell.
Any sorts of representatives we can talk to?
As far as I am aware, they pretty much run along the same lines as the local homeless. So they have small conclaves.
I might
But-
be able to find some representatives.
Would any members of your clan have any connections with the camps who might be able to get us some idea of at least who's potentially a leader contact type?
If it was my clan who was causing the problem, sure.
Do we know
That's
who's
not, I'm not
causing
saying
the
that your
Thin Blood
clan is
problem?
causing the problem, my dear. What I'm saying is the Nosferatu are not unknown for having contacts and representatives working among the humans in the homeless camps.
We may have a few. I will have to dig into finding out which one is doing what.
So the bottom line is there will not be a decision made on a prince tonight. We got larger problems, larger fish to fry, as they say.
If we have to make a decision tonight, me personally, I feel that we should just, split the city up and come back to the Prince talk later. But that's just me.
The city's already been split up. That's part of the problem.
Oh, sorry, I wanted my cut.
He wants the bigger slice.
No, he wants a slice
A
Just a slice.
slice.
instead
Then-
of
Like,
Perhaps what you're actually asking
Cast
for is
adrift.
instead of having a principality here, you're asking for
Spheres of influence.
a conclave of such.
Barony.
maybe a barony. Hey, he said it on me.
See?
She said it on me. Fuck, I'm sorry.
Well then, as a barony, each one of you would then be the leader of that barony, whether you liked it or not.
And tell me, Ventru, who picks the definitions of these zones?
Oh, that would be entirely up to you.
I was about to say, I guess that's us.
you're like, no,
I already have my slice.
She's interesting.
she is.
And why
Knives
do you
out.
have your slice if the rest of us don't?
Because my slice has been one of the few that has not had A, any thin bloods, and B, I've managed to maintain the masquerade within it.
Just how have you managed to keep your thin blood problem at bay?
By keeping my people as happy as possible with our own blood bank.
And this would be the blood bank that, yeah, okay.
So I guess we figure out what part of the city everybody wants.
Perhaps we should define what the city really becomes. Are we just talking proper, or are we going outside of just Portland?
That is a valid point. Because the city itself is dense, but it's relatively small considering how far these are sprawled out, and given where the Thin Bloods used to reside on the island, if they're expanding beyond that island, we should probably include that in our considerations as well.
Does that mean we're going across the river then to Vancouver?
No, that's Anarch territory.
Okay.
And we have bigger fish to fry than that. Thank you very much, but I'd rather stay on this side.
He's not making a move towards us right now, and everything I've heard through my connections tells me he's not really looking to do so until we decide what we're going to do as far as our own leadership.
Indeed.
One thing I can tell you for sure is I sure as hell don't want the Sabbat in here.
No. Thank you very much.
Well, that might be fun.
You, my friend,
For
have an
you.
interesting
For you.
definition of fun.
You are correct.
Don't want any anti-tree sniffing around my house.
The one thing I know is that it's about are bad for business.
You could
kidding,
say
my
that,
friend.
yeah.
Everybody's business.
So at this point, the Ventru pulls out the large map of Portland, slaps it down on the table. So, this is currently what we have defined as the city proper. Now, Gangrel have traditionally stayed to mainly those in the West Hills, although it's gotten a lot more densely populated of late. There's a lot more development there. So, there are other opportunities down into Southwest Territories, if you wished to. So as you can see on this particular map, it's plenty of room here. Sylvan Hills have always been Gangrel territory. I have no problem with it. I know that it's become a little bit more cramped, what with the advent of both new construction and the newest parks up there. However, if you wanted to explore down towards Southwest area, I wouldn't be adverse to sharing some of that.
I mean, I personally, I don't, yeah, I don't know. I went up there and there was a lot going on up there in the hills. I didn't find anywhere that I wanted to be. And most of the Gangrel that I talked to lived there but didn't really feel like it was their home.
Probably thank the guru for that.
That's fair. We have had more than our share of lupine sudden infestations thereof.
I don't know that infestations.
Are you saying that there are werewolves in the North Hills as well?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll keep the
You
North
don't
Hills.
know this?
We came to town recently.
I thought you all knew each other. I mean, you've got the puppy right there.
I'm his bodyguard. We came from L.A. We kind of had our hands
LA.
tied getting out, you know. So I've gone around the city. I've looked around the city. I mean, I get antsy and I just want to go and walk around, or run around. But, I mean, I've always had good relationships with werewolves, so I don't mind taking the territory that has an issue with them. Maybe I'll have something to do about that.
Fair. So, all in agreement?
No objections here?
None.
Let him have it.
Fine.
Time to clean house.
Good luck,
mate.
my friend. The local guru don't fuck around.
Yeah.
I'll give you that piece for free.
This is very true.
Assuming it is just the lupines.
Well, they'll
gonna
at least
talk
think
about
his
that one.
puppy is cute enough to try and do a little
nighttime enjoyment.
Well, there's a
You're
visual I
sick, you
didn't
know
mean.
that?
Moving
Have
along.
you met our species?
Yes, I'm actually kind of fond of them.
Downtown area has normally been sort of piecemealed out.
My understanding is prior to her well-deserved dispatch, Thera claimed it as her own.
Thera did claim it as her own, however, there were small areas in which people were able to claim as theirs that
Yes.
overlapped. For instance, the Toreadors usually went ahead and took over all of the local clubs.
Not all of them.
No, but the majority of the art scene was definitely them.
Fucking gentrification.
Tell you right now, I kicked those bastards out of my home.
I would suggest more along the lines that places like this, public gathering stations, are more neutral ground. At least downtown. Until we have a better sense of governmental system.
Fair enough.
I'd say just give the Toreadors a coffee shop on every corner. They'll be fine.
You mean
Well,
like
they already do
Starbucks?
that. They already do that over in Northeast.
I'm pretty sure the Toreador don't drink at Starbucks anymore. It's too mainstream.
This is true.
I think they're all about Dutch Brothers now. I don't
They
know.
walk in and say this town's over.
They're the reason Portlandia exists.
So we give
I will
them like
never forgive
Oswego and
friends.
West Lynn and leave them there.
Yeah, that's an idea.
Ooh. Put the Toreador in West Lynn? Sure, why not?
I mean,
Why stop there? Send them down to Wilsonville. They can have that too.
Yeah, put them in Gresham. That's
No, that's too close.
they wouldn't
close
go-
to you.
They wouldn't go to Gresham.
nobody goes
It's
to
too
Gresham.
low class for them.
I haven't been in this town for a long time, but I already know people don't like to go to Gresham.
People don't like to go to Gresham.
So does nobody control downtown? Or is there a pretender?
There's, if I can remember her name. She's a ministry member, if I recall correctly.
Sounds like somebody needs to meet their final death.
She's actually proven herself moderately useful in the past to me. She's a regular caller into the show.
Wait, what show?
Oh, Den of Darkness is my baby.
Holy shit, you're Deirdre Von Dark?
Who loves your show?
I love your show. I listen to it all the time.
your show.
Why, thank you, darling. I'm so glad you do.
I try to see if I hear about myself on there. Who knows?
You may have heard about yourself once or twice, I'm sure.
Was that about the strays running about loose?
No, my
she
dear.
come with
It's
fight clubs
one
down
button you
California?
probably don't want to push with him.
Yeah, probably.
Did you?
I don't know. He's got a look about him.
Nah, I'll ask you later. Don't worry about that. I'll
So,
ask later.
in that case, since we've gotten somewhat, what about the Bruges? What do they want?
So
I
you
don't
take-
care what they want.
So you take downtown.
What do you want?
I want something that you're not willing to give.
Oh. Try me.
No, I don't think you would understand. I think you would consider me an anarch if I told you what I really wanted. I'm not.
You're not burning the city to the ground.
I'm not burning the city to the ground. It's worth too much. Especially for what I want.
Just tell him.
Just fucking tell. Come on, mate.
Fine. I want a place where my kindred brothers and sisters can all be at this table, like I said before. I want a place where the milk, differently because they're milk. I want a place where my brother can hunt freely I want a place where you and your people can do all the digging you want to do without an oversight committee, without someone breathing down your neck constantly saying you can't go here, you can't look at this, you can't be free.
Be careful of the masquerade.
The masquerade's got its uses, like I said before.
Masquerade is a necessary evil.
Masquerade is exceedingly necessary, thank you very much. It's what's kept us safe.
It's what's kept
Is the masquerade going to matter when the
the
Inquisition
Ivory
comes through?
Tower safe.
It's what kept the majority of us safe, whether we were in the Ivory Tower or not.
Rumors-
Anarch or not, you have to agree, a single person might be reasonable. People are dumb, panicky animals.
Amen.
Dumb, panicky animals that are very useful.
Stupid panicky animal.
The problem is if you push those panicky animals too far,
We get another Inquisition.
They're not ready.
No,
they're not.
Say,
They've
wait,
got
No.
some feelers in our town already.
no.
They'll never
They're
be
not-
ready.
They're never going to be ready. That's not the point, is it? The point is that the Camarilla are losing their grip on the West Coast, and this is their last chance. But I don't see them putting in any effort to take that. So, it's up to us to run this city. It's up to us to create what we need.
Are you suggesting a tribunal?
That may work.
It's a good start point.
I think so.
Then who would be on this tribunal?
Well, obviously those here.
well, we would need a Ventru representative.
One who isn't the sheriff. No offense intended.
None taken.
One-
I don't want to be a part of that. I have my own hands full.
Depending on what we find out, it may be worth reaching out to whomever the leader of these thin bloods are, just to see what their intentions are, and to see if we can reason with them about their tendency to fuck like bunnies, for lack of a better term.
Well, if people would quit telling them to bite themselves.
I have a feeling that that's a lot deeper rabbit hole than any of us are really willing to go down, but
Can we stop talking about rabbits? You're making my wolf anxious.
If you're really all that interested in finding someone to talk to, I might have access to
truth comes out.
someone.
I just want somebody who gets invited.
Why am I not surprised that you know someone who and didn't bother to tell us? So,
We didn't ask. It's fair
not
enough.
entirely true.
Yeah, it's not.
My point is not so much, I'm not saying let's roll out the red carpet for them, but what I am saying is we should do some investigation before we just wholesalely dismiss them as vermin or whatever. I don't care.
Oh, no, I agree.
That's exactly my point.
We need to at least find out,
Who they are, where they are, what they're capable of.
know thine enemy, if they are to be our enemy. Or perhaps they will be our friend. I don't know that we'll end up with what the Baron of the Valley has, but
God. That man.
we need to open our eyes and see what is really going on, rather than the propaganda that the Ivory Tower likes to throw out, or the abject paranoia of the Nautists. Something has to be done, because the Second Inquisition, through my sources, has feelers out here.
Yeah, I was about to say.
They're not active yet.
You're all talking about if
They're-
a second Inquisition happens. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's just whether or not we can keep them out of here.
Well, that's why I
If they're
say just
I mean, we
fucking
can't-
kill all of them.
The only reason I haven't contracted, I know who the fuck you are now. The only reason I haven't contracted certain specialists to wipe them out is because they're like roaches. Exterminate one Second Inquisition finger, 2 more show up.
There's a point there.
Yeah, it's been the case.
Fine. While
Is there a way we can get them chasing their own tails then?
Well,
Keep them
one
away
thing at
from
a
us.
time. If the Thin Bloods aren't, I won't say brought to heel as you would like, but if they're not tempered in some way, they're rampant.
Let me ask you all something. Do you all believe in what the Canaanites have put forth about the Thin Bloods? Is that what this is about? Are we so narrow-minded in today's life, as it were, or death, as it were?
You're
That-
talking about Ragnarok?
Some people believe that's the case with Thin Bloods.
Gehenna?
Some people believe that they're a sign of the end times.
People have been seeing the end of days since the beginning of the fucking
Thank you.
days.
You've proven my
Since
point.
Cain first walked.
I personally don't believe in that. What I do see, however, is a blatant lack of responsibility.
Unfortunately, on this one, I must agree. Like I said, they fuck like bunnies. Sorry, puppy.
She's just over here. There's no bunnies.
I would be willing to volunteer myself to make this contact.
I think two options have been put forth already, because we don't know who to reach out to first off.
Well, apparently
They have one.
they have one.
I would also, I'm a firm believer in making sure you have a full understanding and multiple options on the table in front of you, which is why I asked Aliana about your contacts.
I was
See if
about to
you
say,
guys
you
can
probably
find
have good contacts, don't you?
Some.
Better than the venture, I venture.
Certainly more knowledgeable.
Yeah, and last time we started sharing knowledge, look what happened.
You will note that I backed you 100% on that.
Oh, I know. You were one of the few.
It will rise again. So, are you saying that are you asking for a price for this information, I take it?
Oh, no. I'm more trying to see what it is you all seem to think you want before I go digging. Because, frankly, last time we shared information across the board, we got slammed. And now I don't have access to it, and it's pissing me off.
Freedom,
Fair.
again.
I can't speak for everyone here, but I can speak from my viewpoint as what I do. That perhaps the first thing we need to do, as I stated, is find out if they are organized in any way. And if they are organized, they have to have a leader or some semblance thereof.
Well, that's like saying the Gangrel have a leader.
Gangrel are hardly organized, my friend.
More organized than Thin Bloods.
Barely.
Are we sure of that?
Anymore?
As I said, with the Thin Bloods, it's somebody's child or got out of line and needs to be put back into place.
Or put down.
Do you
Same thing.
know
That's what we're
who's
here to-
making the thin blood?
No, and that's the problem.
Which is why.
Well, I mean, you're throwing a lot of shade for someone who doesn't know what's going on. I thought you were the big information broker. Just saying.
Before we start attempting to rip each other's heads off,
Don't threaten me with a good time.
He really does love to fight.
your reputation is sound.
But I see your point. That's why I would volunteer myself, not being bound to a sire, not being bound to a prince. I think I may be able to speak to them on a different level.
I don't have a problem with this, but we still don't know who to reach out to.
I believe the sheriff said they had a contact.
I have 2, in fact. I'll see what I can do. If you'll excuse me, I'll see if I can reach out to them this evening.
Thank you.
You know how to get a hold of them, Sheriff.
Oh, indeed. And she goes ahead and leaves. Fluffy pokes his head in. Is everything okay in here?
Oh, we're fine, darling. We're fine.
We haven't dirtied the floor yet.
Good, because I have to clean up after that, and I don't
The
like
dog's
it.
well trained.
Oh, God.
Fluffy, would I do that to you, darling?
I mean, you know, but
Oiling wood is such a bitch. We'll be nice.
thank you. Yeah, okay.
need to get
Let
something
me know
to
if
drink.
y'all need anything. I've got a couple of people out here who are willing to, volunteer for snacks.
Don't worry, I brought a lunch.
Anybody I know?
Jamie's here.
I'm famished.
There is some possibility.
Just saying,
Did you just get aroused?
Excuse me?
I gotta go. I'll see you later. Closes the door.
Congratulations, you have drove Fluffy from the room.
For all the things that man has seen, that he is so easy to embarrass is never-ending source of amusement.
Bless him.
I agree. I
We are
drink.
blessed to have him.
I need to go home to drink.
You didn't bring any with you?
I'm sure I could prowl the streets around here and find what I'm looking for.
Be very careful.
Just
The
like
one
what?
thing
You,
about
you
this-
think none of these ghouls here do drugs? In the middle of Portland, I've seen more people doing drugs on the way into this venue than I have anywhere else.
Fluffy!
Yeah.
Apparently we have a special request.
Well, what you looking for?
Well, I'd like something on ice.
Okay, we can do that.
What do you want?
Well,
He'll get it for you. He's the man.
anybody you know that's into barbiturates?
Sandy.
Yeah. Let me make a call.
I told you. It's
Pretty
Portland.
sure I can get them here in about 15.
Some good opportunities here.
Could you
And tell her
meet
to
me in
bring
the
my
basement?
flash drive.
Okay, no problem. And yeah, I can do that.
Tell her to meet him there in 15.
Okay. And he
She
leaves.
starts putting all her books in order. And
I mean by that.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
About 15 minutes later, there's a knock at the door. Fluffy pokes his head in. Sandy's here.
Thank you, darling. Mm-hmm. How's the ice coming?
Just about ready.
Perfect.
At that
Here, I
point,
thought I was the weirdest eater.
Alexandra's going to get up and walk downstairs and excuse herself from the room. I'll be back in 40 minutes.
Okay.
And you see a very well-kept but very, very sloppy walker.
Oh yeah, that's the Barbitchwoods. You can tell.
Hang on. Flash drive first.
Here you go.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
December.
Hopefully I will be able to return the favor soon.
And you all go to your respective corners to have your snacks.
As long as she's cute.
Oh, my snack is very cute. Pick up the dog.
I'm glad I wasn't in the room for that.
My lord.
Yeah, because I'm strong. I can pick up a full-grown timber wolf. That's not a big deal.
It's not a big
Okay,
deal.
so how many? Oh, well, actually, I can only sate one. So
Yeah, you can sate one for the evening, so it's
You know how many hunger I get to sate?
one. Oh, you can say, oh, that's right, you can.
Off of my wolf, I get 4. So I guess technically I'm not having a snack. I'm having lunch.
Yeah,
You're a growing boy. That's still a snack.
it's still it's fine.
Yeah, no, I have animal succulence and animalism, so it gives me 4 hunger whenever I feed off my familis. Which is why the pandemic wasn't that big of an issue for my character. I just stayed inside for 2 years and drank off my wolf. It was good.
Nice.
I didn't see any people. It was amazing.
So, after that brief interlude, Sheriff comes back in, accompanied with a very, very, very skinny young woman, almost emaciated looking.
Oh, so Heroine Chic is back.
you said it before I did.
Oh, this is the contact.
This is Celeste.
All right.
Celeste is the one thin blood who's been willing to reach out to us in Ventru.
I am impressed.
As am I.
All right.
Celeste is one of the only ones who's been willing to work with Ventru in trying to figure out who it is that has been siring them. She doesn't even know who sired her.
All right, out of character, I'm about to do what we call a pro gamer move. My character walks up to Celeste, immediately sticks his hand out and says, "You and yours have a place in my territory."
She immediately backs up and away from you.
Just saying. Just
First
saying.
off, let me say thank you for being brave enough to come forward and to speak with us this evening. While you are here this evening, I can promise you no harm will come to you. You are safe here.
I can too. I'd like to see somebody try and harm her.
It's not like I had much of a choice.
Fair enough. But
Were they rough with you?
No. No more than normal.
Did they threaten you or your people?
It's kind of
Ivory Tower work.
it's kind of what we're talking about here, right?
That's exactly.
Let's just say that things
what
get easier if I just do what I'm asked to do.
fair enough.
You see, personally, me and my friend here think that's bullshit. So,
Yeah, well, not everybody has resources.
No, I know, and that's why I'm here.
Celeste, darling, hi. I don't know if you're aware of who I am, and that's fine. We don't need to worry about that. But
how do you not know
What
tears
can
are
you-
fun dark?
one of the things we're trying to resolve and settle and figure out is there was a time when those of your condition, that being what they refer to as thin bloods, have been here for a while, but you used to reside primarily over on the island. Yet
Yeah.
it seems now that they're expanding everywhere. What we hope to gain from you, if you're willing, hopefully, is to get an idea of is there any semblance of organization? I mean, who do you, among the Thin Bloods, I'm assuming you band together. I mean, you would have to for protection, just to keep from people like, Miss Smarty Pants over here from, eating you for breakfast, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, well, I mean, so a lot of us call ourselves just travelers because it's easier.
Okay.
For lack of a better term, we're basically just gypsies. We run from town to town, and it's just easier for us to go where we can find what we need.
Okay.
Do you know why the Thin Bloods are leaving the island?
Yeah, there's nothing left there, and it's overcrowded. And the local police have been in repeatedly.
There is talk of companies wanting to, of certain companies wanting to redevelop the land.
Yeah. Well, there's not much there, unfortunately, at this point any longer. What has been there is mostly thrashed. So we've had to go elsewhere. It just,
Okay, when you say elsewhere, do you have a central hub that you're based out of now? Or are you literally, as you said, just traveling gypsies and you're going like the deadheads of the 80s or the 70s, following, just going from place to place to
I
place?
think she knows that.
Fair point.
I think that was the 60s, but okay.
I get the reference. We have some old people in our camp.
My apologies.
Where do you have a central area you guys base out of?
Yeah, there's a couple of buildings that they still haven't torn down over in Northwest.
Okay.
And we've been mostly squatting there, and then we stretch out as we need to around to the other areas. So there's a lot of us that travel up and down 205, and there's some of us that go in and out of Northeast and into Gresham area.
I
But
have my sympathies there.
it depends on, what we're looking to find. I mean, we've got people out looking everywhere for things. We need them.
Do you have any idea approximately how many of your, we'll say tribe, just for lack of a better term, since you went with the gypsy metaphor, do you have any idea how many of you there are at this time?
The last count, about 50.
50 total?
Yeah,
When was the last count?
about 6 months ago.
Oh, it's definitely gone up by then.
I
Surprised
don't
it's
really
that
pay
low.
attention. I
I had heard it was higher.
That's what I heard as well, that it was higher.
Are there multiple groups?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we all have to go, you have to understand that he's constantly looking for more things to make for us so that we have more power.
Who is he? Please.
Jacob.
Jacob. What can you tell me about Jacob?
Jacob's a brewer.
I see. Does he, is he established or is he independent or?
Oh, he's not that kind of a brewer. No, he doesn't make alcohol.
Yeah, I get it.
I
We-
think,
We had brewers in California.
We have to go out to find the stuff that he needs to make what we use so that,
So that you're able to survive?
yeah.
Fair enough.
And, I mean, it's everything. We find whatever we can. I'm really good at finding car batteries, so I tend to go towards, the local chop shops and things out in Gresham and Northeast, and I bring him that, and then he takes the battery acid and he turns it into stuff that we can use.
I think I know where your catalytic converter went.
Oh, on the Cadillac?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that why the bus wouldn't start this morning?
Oh shit. You guys work fast.
So would it be safe to say that Jacob is, for lack of a better term, the leader of sorts, if there were one?
I mean, he's the one that gets us all of our stuff, and if we don't, he gets really angry.
Is Jacob a vampire?
Not if he's a brewer.
That's not necessarily true.
He's a thin blood like us, but he's smart.
That's not necessarily true.
He's really smart.
Like, how smart?
Obviously smart enough to feed thin bloods.
Like,
Obviously smart enough to corral multiple groups.
Or at least this one.
he's able to turn things into
Other thing.
other things. He's able to make spells.
He's an alchemist. We had a couple back home in Ireland.
I've heard of them. I haven't encountered many of them personally.
Well,
I've spoken to a few on air.
my family had access to a couple.
But he's not accessible.
Why not?
There's too many people between him and us.
So how do you,
Well,
We
I
have
can
drop
make it
points.
accessible.
okay. And then that's, so like dead drops where is that where you gather your instructions and whatnot?
Yeah,
And this is the only means of communication.
yeah.
And you have no idea where he's based out of?
No, he wouldn't tell us.
So
He's too
let's
smart
ask
for that.
the real question. Celeste,
Yeah?
what is it that you actually need that Jacob's providing?
I like to feel good, and I like to have power, and I don't get that with feeding blood. So I have to use other stuff, and he makes it for me,
Okay.
because otherwise it hurts.
I understand.
So if we were able to come up with an alternative source for you, is there anyone who could track Jacob down for us?
I mean, it's possible.
As someone who's dealt with paranoia, the chances of us finding him are very unlikely.
I just know that I'm told to drop stuff over on Northwest Cooch and Second. There's an old police station that's there, and we use that as a dead drop in the basement there.
Have you seen anyone coming or going after you've left?
No.
Chances
But
are it's
I
not
don't
even
stick
Jacob.
around.
Chances are it's not even Jacob who picks it
Of
up.
course not, no, but I'm thinking.
Dollars to donuts, he doesn't even go near that place.
At this point,
Then that means somebody's got eyes on the place.
Alexandra whips out her phone and starts looking through her contacts.
And Celeste looks at the sheriff. Can I go now?
Does anybody else have any questions for her?
How are we going to be able to
I
find you
also
if we
would
need
like to
you?
extend sanctuary from my clan to yours.
Well, they don't really have a clan that's
I
gonna
know
run
that.
I'm just
There's
saying
no other
it's
better words for it.
Try us if I can.
Your people are welcome in my sphere of influence.
Okay. Can I go?
Storyteller. What was the sheriff's name again?
Sheriff's name is Tranisa.
Tranisa? Can you, Celeste, dear, unless anybody else has any questions, can you go ahead and wait outside with Fluffy? He'll take care of you and get you something to drink or something to eat if you need it. we'll make sure that you're seen safely to wherever you want to go.
If you have questions, tell Fluffy to use my Rolodex.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Celeste.
Thank you.
And she scuttles out the door.
So you do business with the Thin Bloods?
No.
I've seen that
As a
before.
matter of fact, Fluffy has my Rolodex because this used to be one of my happy houses. For lack of a better term.
Is that a technical term?
It's a,
Only on Tuesdays.
that's the scientific term, actually.
Trinessa,
Yes.
she will be safe, yes?
Oh, yes. I'll make sure of that.
Thank you.
As I said, I don't bear her any ill will. I simply
And true who don't.
want any more to be created. This is a problem.
You
You keep saying it's a
just want
problem.
them Thin Bloods to stay out of your town. I spent way too much time in Texas killing people like you.
But there is a point. I guarantee you that 50 is a low number.
Oh, yeah.
50 is what she knows because 50 is what is in her particular clan.
Yeah,
There's at the very least, there's another 5 other clans out there.
That's what I
Probably
figured.
closer. I'm thinking we're probably looking at about minimum 500, possibly over 1,000.
That
Because
was
the island at its
what I was
peak,
guessing.
from my sources, at its peak, the island was at 450. And that was before the bitch got her just comeuppance.
You'll hear nothing against that from me. Thera was not the world's most favorite prince as far as we were concerned.
In that, we agree.
Seems there are a lot of people who wanted the last prince dead.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we listed it as a natural cause.
So, what's to stop all of the people who wanted the last prince dead from wanting the next one dead?
Well, that's up to you. How are you going to go ahead and run this city differently?
I can just see you sitting there with a crown on your
You
head.
need water?
Fuck you.
Would we have to howl as we entered the hall?
No, but if you keep making jokes, we're gonna see how you howl.
Oh, you want to join the row this week?
Pixar, it didn't happen.
There's a reason I was your ringer in LA. Don't test it.
It's true.
So, with this particular, I suppose, tribunal being set into place, and having at least a little more information from my friend,
I'm willing to investigate further.
Sheriff, may we have the room for a few minutes, please?
of course. And she leaves.
Aliana, darling,
Yes, Alexandra.
what's on the thumb drive?
Your next show. Catch.
Oh, aren't you a love? See,
Keep my
that's a-
name out of your mouth next time.
That wasn't me, and you know it.
Screen them better.
I assure you that I have
Just lost
spoken
Disney.
with that screener, and I guarantee you that won't happen again.
Good. Good, because otherwise they may have to go make a deposit with the blood bank.
That particular one, I might let you,
As long as we're at an understanding.
of course. So, back to the business at hand. John, you seem to be making a habit of offering people sanctuary. Do we really want to jump into that this early?
I came here for a reason. And that reason stands. I don't care if they're thin blood. I don't care if they're milk. There's a place for all of us who've been pushed out and tread upon and used by the Ivory Tower.
You will get zero argument from me on that one.
And that's why I'm here, period.
At the same time, we need to find this Jacob.
I don't disagree with that at all. Matter of fact, he might teach us a thing or two.
Would any of your contacts in the Chantry be able to help us?
I'm afraid no, I'm alone out here today.
I don't want to call the boys. Do I need to call the boys?
I don't have much of a presence here, unfortunately.
How come the two? You guys good information brokers, right? How come you guys can't get that information?
Oh, I'm going to try. I'm going to start reaching out. That's why you saw me rolling through my list a minute ago. But more eyes, quicker
Alright.
results.
I mean, if I had a last name, that might be a bit easier. I have a guy, but at least search the internet for him. But I assume you guys don't need help with that.
Assuming Jacob's even his real name.
Yeah,
Guarantee
right?
you it's not.
Well, we all use aliases, do we not?
Maybe.
Some of our masks are a little better than others.
Do either of you two have any information on the local werewolf population?
I stay out of their way.
That's a good question. Through
I
her
mean,
show,
it's
would she
usually
have
wise, but sometimes
gotten
they
any
can be
idea
useful.
of at least which
Sometimes.
tribe?
You get the sense that there's only two of the major tribes that are here.
Okay.
I don't have them off the top of my head at the moment, but I
Okay.
will look them up.
So,
Probably at least one from a glasswalker. They're around.
No,
not in
I
not in
can't
Sylvan
get
Park.
them anymore. They've gone.
Really, the last one left?
Glassies are all gone.
They aren't talking to me anymore.
Let's see.
How about the Fenris?
Oh God.
That's not my problem.
We know that there are at least two. I will have to do a little more research to get you which clans they are, but or tribes rather. And as soon as I get that information, I'll let you know. Through your usual contact source, I presume?
Sure. Still don't like that you know that information about me, but yeah.
Oh, honey, you listen to her show. You have no idea what she knows about you at this point.
I
why
know
we
what she
have a
thinks
quiz.
she knows about me.
This is why we have a quid pro quo.
I wish it came down to money because I can do that. But I know people like you guys don't deal in money so much.
It has its uses, as a means to an end.
It
greases
funds
enough wheels.
things.
Yeah.
I don't feel like giving you. What do you want for that information?
Right now, I think it's mutual interest of all of us.
I don't like
think
it.
we may want to take a look at Government Island. If we can get someone in there safely.
No, you need to get somebody in somewhere safely. That
How
might
familiar
cost
are
you.
you with the previous scenario up here?
I mean, we moved from LA around the time when things were getting hairy,
Okay.
and we've only kind of just recently established kind of anything. Like I don't have, I have yet to buy a house here, so.
Very brief history lesson. There's an area on the river called Government Island. For the, I won't say longest time, but for a very long time, the Thin Bloods pretty much stayed there. but based on what Celeste is telling us now, looks like they're being run out, which may be part of the spread.
Well, that's what I was saying, is I was wondering what is pushing them out. If it's just overpopulation, okay.
It sounds like development, and where there's development, guarantee you somebody's pulling those strings.
That's what I was saying, is
Who would
who's pushing the
develop
Thin Bloods out.
Government Island?
Yeah, there's
I
no
think you
access.
might be thinking Jansen Beach.
Yeah, because there's no
Hayden
access.
Island has items.
What about Swan?
Or Ross.
Hold
If-
that thought.
If we could put them on Government
I was about
Island,
to say, is
that
there
would be
anything
easy.
going on Swan Island?
I may be wrong. Okay, out of
How
character.
do-
I may be wrong. I may be misremembering which
safe
island it was they
place
were
for
on.
'em.
That's the one that showed up immediately on my map. So
Yeah,
There's,
no.
there's still a part of me that feels like Jacob isn't actually a Thin Blood. Because that would be a very convenient lie, right?
yeah,
If
but
he
how
was a
many-
full vampire just saying he was a Thin Blood, the Thin Bloods are going to believe that.
Nobody ever got to the bottom of the Thin Blood issue down in LA either. I mean, they broke up a few things, but all you do is just kind of scatter them around.
It's like cutting the head off a
Word
Hydra.
later. No, it's more like
Trying to
ants,
scatter the
really.
roaches.
More like ants. I mean, they clump up where they get fed. Then they go back
Well,
to their hive.
See, because the point that I brought up earlier still stands. If we completely alienate the Thin Bloods, that makes them our enemy.
I'd very much
Maybe
like to keep them on side.
Maybe somebody has already thought of that. And thought that maybe if they curried favor with the Thin Bloods, that they'd have a small army.
Feed the addict. Control the problem. No offense, darling.
Well, you know, you got to throw them a bone occasionally, right?
This is why I asked her what it was that they needed.
And I don't think they know what they need. I think if they knew what they needed, Jacob wouldn't be necessary.
That was part of the problem in LA as well, is they would congregate around cooks,
Mm-hmm.
and each cook site became a war zone.
Didn't their
So this
cook-
guy is getting around that by dead drops, by keeping the Thin Bloods guessing.
Layers of separation.
Hey,
Yeah, when you're the only person who knows where the drug has got to go to you.
Sure. So I'm thinking,
that's how it
if
works.
there's a dead drop, then somebody's got eyes on that dead drop. So
That's-
if we can put
yeah.
eyes on whoever's got the eyes on that.
Well,
And if you can find them.
True.
Well,
that's
I
true. That's
only
just-
know
told
one-
us where the
I mean-
drop is.
I only know
know
one
where it
person that
is.
could track like that.
I mean, that's true.
We need a
it's-
daywalker.
It's pretty low tech if you think about it.
You need a day walker.
Because there are several Thin Bloods who can walk during
Have
the
you
day.
ever met a day walker?
One or two.
Seriously.
Well, I have a way to get around during the day.
Okay, let's define daywalker. I'm not talking Blade.
Thank the gods.
No, you're talking the ones who just lose their powers when they go out into the sun, but aside from that, they're okay.
There's one option. There's also, I'm sure, based on what you've described over there, John, you've got to have some sort of, not servitor, what is the word I'm looking for? Ghoul?
I have people.
I have a servitor,
Who can go through the day
I
and
have
keep an eye on that space.
and I point to Chloe. I go,
People are going to raise eyebrows at a wolf running around downtown Portland.
I mean, maybe.
You'd be surprised at what's in somebody's backyard.
Yeah, I've noticed.
But the dead drop in question doesn't have a backyard.
Well, yeah, but the dead drop could be an abandoned building. It sounds like it's an abandoned building.
I heard it was abandoned.
In the abandoned police station in the basement?
Constabulary.
Are you really saying that a wolf in the basement of an abandoned police building is that out of place?
Here, yes.
I mean,
Well, yeah, it's one thing. It's one thing for your dog to be in the building. It's another thing for your pooch to get to the building. How is it going to get to the building without being seen?
Middle
Somebody
of the
going,
night.
"What the fuck is that?"
Middle of the night.
It's a black wolf in the middle of the night. Meh.
I've noticed that there's lots of places in this town that don't really sleep.
Well, I
So you
mean, we're
pass-
here, aren't we?
You pass her off as some kind of mastiff crossbreed, and that's
Well, I mean-
the only way you can get through
I'm
town.
gonna be completely honest with you. It would be easier for me to be in the basement. I guarantee you, if I'm in the basement, nobody's gonna fucking know I'm there.
Right, but you're not going to be able to operate during the day.
Oh, I mean,
And I have a strong suspicion, because love her or hate her, the sheriff's not dumb. I can guarantee you she's probably put somebody on that spot.
kind of wish we had asked Celeste when the dead drop happens. Because if they only happen at night, that'd be a pretty good indicator.
Well, that's just it. She will show up at night, but we don't know if they come in during the day or during the night. That's why we need somebody there we need to get a full 24-hour.
I'm making a phone call.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
So we ask her when she drops, when the next drop is, and
Pause 1
work from
second. I
there.
thought didn't we ask her when she was in here? I thought we did ask that.
We ask
she
where.
dropped.
Where she
Okay.
dropped.
Yeah. Not when. Because, like, my biggest issue with the whole thing of trying to find this brewer, I mean, honestly, me and John, we've dealt a lot in the drug scene. We were down in LA running our games.
Yes, the game.
It tend to proliferate in that scene. And one of the things that I found
Who's
out
Johnny?
is that
Any of the boys up here?
you take down one head when it comes to drugs, another one pops up. You know, it's about business, supply and demand. It is what it is. But you don't just cut the head off the worm and hope that the worm dies. You know what I mean? There's a lot of those worms that can come back to life after you cut their head off. So
So you slice it in the middle,
I just,
top
Eliana.
down.
Eliana, one thing that you do know is that that particular area is very sparsely lit. Strangely enough, because it's just around the corner from where this building is that you are, you're able to actually, you do not
Down,
actually have
under.
to even travel through the underground network to make it from there to here without being seen. It's that dimly lit.
Yeah, it's around the corner.
Yeah. Very, very easy to go ahead and hide in shadows throughout that area.
So what exactly do you want to do? Because we could walk around the corner and do this right now.
and we don't necessarily know that a drop's happening. I can guarantee you a drop's not happening because they know we're here.
No, but we could at least get you in the door.
More just, it's like there's video surveillance all over the place in these cities nowadays, right? Is there
Yeah,
any
but
video?
you need a little light to see the.
Fair enough.
They have not installed the IR cameras that used to be at that police station. During the protests, got damaged.
Are they still there?
Nope.
The city hasn't got the money to
They're not
fix
using the
them yet.
station anymore. Why bother? So your surveillance in that area is minimal at best, and I guarantee you there's no IR.
And one of your past radio programs actually was about the fact that there's been so much in the way of destruction of local property and the stripping of
Anything valuable?
anything valuable at all for sale because of the increased drug usage in the area. There's nothing in that building worth anything.
You should have no problem at all getting in there.
I have an idea. I think we are. I think we're looking at the face of the beast and we're ignoring the body. Because this is not the only dead drop. We can guarantee this isn't the only one. And I feel like if this guy's a good brewer, he'll know what we're doing. If he's already dealt with the sheriffs, he's already dealt with the local constabulary, then he knows that people want him, which means that anything that we try to do probably isn't going to change anything. But we do know is that brewers have egos. So if we had one of us pose as, I don't know, a new brewer in town,
Fine.
then maybe we'd be able to smoke him out without having to worry about trying to track him down. Because if there's one thing a brewer hates, it's another one in on his territory.
Yeah, but is he going to step into it personally?
That's a good question.
Is he going to send minions?
Well, if he sends minions, I can take care of those.
Well, if he sends minions, we can track them.
There's that too.
Question them.
I think 100% the best way to do this is if we position somebody as a new brewer.
The way you think.
And not only will that give us access to who Jacob might possibly be in the long run, it might also give us a way to get in with the Thin Bloods.
So let's two-part this. You
'Cause I was about to say,
you know
I-
your idea.
'Cause it-
We plant somebody to keep an eye on the space. Have Celeste do her normal drop. Hell, give her a couple car batteries. Have her do her drop, and then watch and see who does the pickup. If you want to plant your pup in the station, we can do that.
you can get the shit, right?
I can get the shit.
So,
You want to play happy face? I'll let you.
oh, you can play happy
I'll
face.
bring you what you need.
I only play mad face.
I don't play face.
Fair enough. No, that's John. John's gonna be the brewer for sure.
I'll do it.
If we need a face guy, John's. No, I always make him do that shit, anyways. Yeah. Okay. I can put Chloe in there and see if she sees anything. I don't know if she will, because if she does get seen, she might get made. I don't think a Thin Blood would make her, but I think a vampire would.
What happened to if she's in the building, no one will know?
Oh no, that's me. I don't trust her stealth nearly as much. She's kind of a klutz.
Fluffy,
She
Dogs.
talks too much.
Yeah.
baby, bring me my Rolodex.
Oh, okay. He goes shuffling off. He comes back a couple minutes later. Here you go.
Thank you.
I say Chloe talks too much, and she's like, like a husky. I'm like, shut up.
Fluffy,
Yes.
run down to the meat market and grab me an extra 2 steaks.
Grab a bunny while you're at it.
I don't think they carry those.
Hence the steaks.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Thank you, baby.
He goes wandering back out, shaking his head.
No, the only reason why I suggested Chloe was because you need someone who could be there during the day. And she has no qualms with being anywhere during the day.
It's Government Island. If I'm reading this correctly.
That means they know somebody who has resources. Because the only way you get in and off Government Island is by boat.
It's either government or Savi, one of the two.
Sorry, it's a way different situation.
Savi's Island has way too many humans on it on a regular basis. There's no way.
Says you don't need a boat to get a Savi.
Yeah. So,
But
it-
that would explain coming off of the island because there's nothing there.
but that means somebody's allowing them to. If the Thin Bloods are already on the island, there's no way they have the resources to get off. That means somebody is taking them off.
Maybe Jacob has a partner.
I mean, I'm pretty wealthy and I don't own a boat.
I don't
There was
know.
also a large group that havened themselves in Jansen Beach's old amusement park before it got torn down.
Vampires?
No, Thin Bloods.
Who owns that area? Does anybody? Because we were talking about a pretender in downtown. Does anybody hold any kind of sway in Jansen Beach?
Based on what Celeste told us, I mean, I'm wondering if they were getting run out. I've heard rumors of developers wanting to rezone that area. They've already started some of it. They've taken down a couple hotels.
Is there a company that's doing it
Storyteller?
specifically?
There is actually a company. You've heard of this particular company that's recently come to light. It came up, strangely enough, out of San Diego.
Nothing good comes out of San Diego.
Sorry, San Diego.
Hey, was trained down there.
San Diego,
So is
the
that.
Gresham of California.
I thought that was Sacramento.
Celerity Corp.
No, that's
Celerity
No,
Corp?
actually, that's Rancho Cordova.
I sent off a message to my hacker guy and asked him to get what he can on Celerity Corp.
Okay.
So what was the name?
Celerity.
Celerity.
And specifically what they're doing in Portland. But I'm like, we didn't know, none of you guys know anything about this corporation?
I can
I
look
haven't
into
had
it.
reason to dig into it too deep. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit on my show, but haven't had any reason to dig too heavily into it until tonight.
So this is the first time you're hearing about the Thin Bloods?
Oh, no. Not the first time I'm hearing about the Thin Bloods.
So that
It's the
wasn't-
first time I'm hearing that they're being forced out by the developer, which means that Celerity Corp covers its tracks.
Yeah, Celerity Corp is actually someone that you have known a little bit about. Yes.
Okay.
So if a name
You.
like Celerity, I'm thinking Tremere.
Could be Bruja.
Celerity.
Bruja have Celerity.
Yeah, Bruja, Tremere, Toyota, and Levanture.
I
Interesting.
meant Celerity. in
Celerity
Pennsylvania.
Corporation actually has ties into London, specifically actually in Liverpool, as well as
Fucking
development
British.
into Hungary, South Africa, and now in the United States.
They also had a stronghold on Hayden Island.
Alexandra, what was the name of that screener you had like 10 years ago? The Ghoul.
Oh, goodness. Victor?
That one. Thank you. Here. Hands you a card full of information. Call him. Tell him I'll double his drop. And he will watch your back when you go sit there.
You can trust him.
This pen is dead.
You, once you're finished writing, you get a message back from your hacker. Celerity Corporation looks legit.
Not
It
a
is-
shell? That's crazy.
From what he can find just as an initial search, what he's seeing is a legit corporation based out of Liverpool, has ties in with Hungary, South Africa, and then recently spread into the US, specifically in San Diego, and now over to here in Portland.
Aliana,
Yeah,
would
love.
it be possible to check on the dark web and see if there was any information leaked about said company through a breach that may not have gone fully public yet?
Yeah, hang on.
I was about to say, if we need to take down a company, I probably know some people.
Start digging in.
Called the crew.
Werewolves really hate companies.
You find a little bit more about Celerity than you might want to.
Especially
Whoa.
if they're tied to Pentex.
You owe me double.
Do tell.
Celerity also happens to be dealing in slave traffic,
Human trafficking.
which is one of the reasons why they are traversing through Hungary, South Africa, and then moving inwards to the United States and traveling back and forth.
So they're starting in South Africa, moving to Hungary, and then up.
But more like actually moving from Hungary, Eastern Europe.
Is this recent?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I never
Looks like
ran
we have
into
two
them.
targets now.
Well, no, I
I'm
messaged
clearing
back
that
the
browser.
hacker guy.
With pleasure.
I would recommend deleting the VM.
I messaged back
don't
the
worry.
hacker and asked him anything like supernatural around Celerity, any stories, rumors, or anything.
He messages back, nothing so far, but he's going to dig further in.
Cool. I wire him his usual payment.
Okay.
No. I mean, I don't know. Personally, I've come to the conclusion that when things happen in our world, it's usually us doing it. I mean, for some reason, humans just don't like to go around those places. So if there's somebody that's actually causing an issue with the Thin Bloods, it's probably one of us. Not us, but us.
A kindred.
I would even put it on a child, honestly. Because the ones that stand to gain the most power are the ones at the bottom. I doubt it would be any of us. We have our own power bases to deal with. And, so, I mean, to me, it sounds like there's a young vampire out there that is trying to create power for themselves in a vacuum, using the Thin Bloods to do so.
Or creating the Thin Bloods to do so.
Keeping them on their toes, feeding them, giving them places to congregate.
If he is the one siring them, you could just make more.
Yeah, but you got to keep them in line, right?
Right, but as they...
You got to feed the armies, you know?
We need to go up the food chain.
And I think we've got a start plan.
There's a part of me that feels like celerity is probably included in that. Why go to an island that has very little in real estate? Like, I understand expanding, but I don't know. It's like supervillain behavior to go and be on an island that has no way in except by boat.
Well, keep in mind also, especially now that the human trafficking angle has been brought to light.
I guess it would be useful to have a quiet island in your at your disposal.
Portland has unfortunately history of
I know about the tunnels.
situations with that. Not just the tunnels, my friend.
The tunnels are just now a tourist plot.
Yeah, because once they got found out, they had to figure out a different way to do it.
You don't need a tunnel to smuggle people.
Yeah, that's true.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But anyways, why do we care about that? That's the big question.
Our immediate problem, I think,
Is the Thin Bloods.
is Thin Bloods. From there, as a side note, we should probably look into celerity and see what they're doing in our area.
Are we trying to stop them? Are we trying to stop the
If
Thin
they are
Bloods?
the ones, if they,
Like I know what
not
the
a
trigger,
priority.
I know what the Venture said. I know what the Venture said. I understand that, but I personally, I don't know. I feel like if the Thin Bloods being made is an issue, we give them a home, someplace that they can be that we can control, and call it that.
like an internment camp.
I don't like using those words.
But you're thinking it.
No. Why would I? No.
Literally the opposite of why we're here.
Exactly.
But giving them nothing, withholding everything from them is not an option either.
And that is not at all what any of us are suggesting. But the bottom line is they are breeding out of control. And that's the first thing we need to figure out. And our straightest line to that appears that it may be Jacob, at least as a start point. If he's not the head mouse handing out the cheese, as it were. God, that's a horrible metaphor.
Apt.
We, at least it'll be one step up the food chain, as you say.
The only reason I care about this is because I care about, your business. And as you said, they're not good for business. At least breaking the Masquerade isn't. Even though I could give a shit less about the Masquerade.
It's safer with the Masquerade than without. And that's just the way it is.
Necessary sacrifices. But
Unfortunately, some of us can't go out looking like everybody else, pretty boy.
He's really pretty, isn't he? Just don't pet him and call him good boy.
stop talking about my kinks with the strangers.
Picks or it didn't
Should have
happen.
never told you about that. I already have enough on my plate trying to get the gangrel rounded up. Because I've been out there, I've looked, there's no leadership there at all. And if I'm going to take over that area as my place, then I need to make sure everybody in there is under,
Then who
you know.
who are we going to park at the drop tonight? We need to park somebody.
Call Victor.
Yeah, I mean, if he was going to protect whoever was there anyways, we can just put him there.
All right, let's do it.
As long as he can stay hidden.
Oh, that
Don't
won't be a
worry,
problem.
honey. He's very good at his job.
You're all more trusting than I am, so.
Oh no, I've had years of this boy. I just can
Did
never
his
remember
job
his
well,
name
I would
because
put
he's
him.
too pretty.
I offered to help with that.
No, he's too pretty. We don't need to make him not so pretty.
Yeah, that'd help with that.
I don't say.
So shall we,
It's not a good look.
the only other thing left that I could think of is we need to figure out who's controlling which territories. I mean, I'm perfectly happy with Southeast Portland and Milwaukee area. It served me well for the years. It's where my studio's based out of. So that takes care of me, that takes care of our gangrel friend.
And just fair warning, stay out of the hills. So I'm going to tell them to protect their own.
I'm crazy, not stupid.
I wouldn't call you crazy, cousin. Just different.
Fair enough.
What about you? What do your people want?
Eyes and ears. That's about it. We're not.
You're in heaven then.
We're not in the business of taking over territories. Never really were.
Okay.
So I've got a lovely place just east of the what used to be Lloyd Centre. So I'm happy.
Well, you go get a house in the West Hills. I
To be
guess.
honest, I want the North End.
I have no desire for it.
And I mean the entire North End. From Kenton on down.
And where exactly is your stopping point?
It's a good question. Beings that they like the Lloyd area, I think I'll stop there. Unless you have objections.
Oh, no, that's fine with me.
What would you like?
Well, considering we've already had to park ourselves into inner southeast and downtown, and we're the ones dealing with everything coming in.
That's why I'm asking what you want. Because if you want a part of that, I'd be willing to give up some of it.
Somehow, I don't think my kind would be very welcome in Kenton.
If it was mine, they would.
Not with the food source.
I understand the need of that. That is different.
Well, you're welcome in the West Hills.
Sounds like everybody's welcome in the West Hills.
Oh, yeah. You're catching on.
That's kind of the point. Isn't it?
Tell that to the Lupines.
They're also welcome in the West Hills.
But would they welcome
They own
anybody
the
else?
West Hills.
We'll see about that.
You're
And
a
this
braver
is
man than I, Gunga.
why I wanted to know how far out we wanted to go. Because Portland is more than just Portland.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Because the West Hills is the middle of the West.
That's the way I see it as well.
There's also the entirety of Washington County,
True.
which
And into Yamhill.
And Clackamas. How far out do we really need to go? You'd love Estacada, by the way.
Oh, yeah. That's what I hear. It's just perfect for, pickup trucks and...
I heard someone on the street call it incesticate on my way here.
It's the land of dueling banjos.
Oh, gotcha.
You've missed the Bubba Triangle.
I spent enough time in Texas to know I don't want to go back there.
They wish they were Texas, from what I hear. But not very good at it.
So at this point, there's a knock at the door.
Yes.
The sheriff pokes her head back in. So, have we made a decision?
I think for the most part, the only
guess
thing left
much
is
of
to
it.
determine who's going to be our primary communications piece.
I think it should be the Nosferatu.
I would be accepting of that.
Me too.
have
I
no
trust you.
objections.
You should only trust me as far as you throw me, and you know that.
I can throw you pretty damn far.
I know your average
I
velocity.
don't doubt that.
It's an interesting choice, I will say.
She can get anywhere, anytime.
I kind of want to see that fight.
And we all know ultimately she really only cares about the information.
It'd be kind of
That's fair.
just saying.
Keep your kinks to yourself.
Why are you sharing everybody's kinks, John?
He's sharing his own this time.
Yeah, but this is not the place to do it.
Don't shame my.
I'm not I'm shaming the fact that you're telling everybody.
But that's one of my kinks.
God. Children!
He has so many.
Yeah, I think
I
at
don't
this
know.
point, we're going to go ahead and take a
Whatever.
quick break. All right, and we're back. And so we have had some discussions on who's running the city, who doesn't want to run the city, who definitely doesn't want to run the city, how things are going to move forward. You've had a discussion with a thin blood, and some interesting revelations about a new corporation that has recently decided to poke its head into Portland. You have a couple of decisions that you want to make, and it sounded as though before we went on our break there was going to be perhaps a stakeout. No pun intended. So,
Wait, weren't there going to be steaks for the dog?
Should be steaks for the dog.
She ordered the steaks.
Yeah, she ordered the steaks.
she did order the steaks, and
And I'm looking into getting him bunnies.
I'm glad you did, because if you didn't, it would be a big mistake.
But I'm bummed.
knock at the door, and Fluffy comes in with two very large porterhouse and hands them over. I believe these are for your wolf.
Oh. Oh, okay. And I throw it to her. I guess she eats it.
You guess she eats it?
I guess. I don't know what she does with
She
it.
probably waits for your signal.
Probably waits for your signal.
I wish she was that well trained.
That's fair. Fluffy
Yeah,
looks
we should
around a
join
couple more
you.
times. He's like, does anybody else need anything? Otherwise, I'm going to go back to...
I'm golden. Thank you, dear.
I'm good.
Okay.
We're good, honey. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
I just start ripping chunks off and having the dog jump for it.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Girl.
You know, you scratch the floor doing that.
Not
Okay.
caring.
I'll just let Fluffy know who's re-oiling it.
I'm not re-oiling shit.
You think?
I'd like to see somebody try to make me do it.
You don't want to piss off Fluffy. Trust me.
Trinisa looks at both of you. All right, so there was something about setting up a stakeout of some sort?
We've already taken care of that part. We've got our
Yeah, we got the
contact on the
stakes
way.
We already
What we
have
need
Victor
to do, we just
handling.
need to have,
Oh, that's right, Victor. Yeah, the ghoul.
we need to provide some raw material to Miss Celeste so that she can drop it and we could start our watch as
I
soon as
can
Victor's in
handle
place.
that. I can definitely handle that.
Thank you.
I guess we gotta get on turning you into a brewer.
Like I said, all he has to be is a pretty face.
Trinisa brings in Celeste. There's 2 batteries for you, my dear. And follow these nice people's instructions. I'll see you later. Trinisa leaves, and you have a very, very uncomfortable looking thin blood holding 2 batteries, which technically should be far too heavy for her to carry.
You have nothing to worry about, dear. We're not going to harm you. As I said, I promise you will be safe. You are safe this evening. And in our presence, you are safe.
So what's the deal? They said
The deal is you go about life as normal. Go ahead and do your drop as you would normally. And just go ahead and go about life. Everything will be fine.
You're fine.
I look at her and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't trust it if it came out of milk either.
I don't know that I trust any of you.
Oh, fair enough.
And you are a very wise person for saying
What about
so.
the dog?
Don't trust the dog.
What?
Don't trust the dog.
I'm a cat person. Sorry.
Besides, I saw your dog pissing off the wall earlier.
She scuttles off with both of the batteries.
And then as soon as she walks out, I'm presuming Victor is waiting outside to tail her without being seen.
That would be a correct.
Yeah.
So, what now?
Now I make a lot of noise.
Does your lot of noise happen to involve explosions?
No.
Darn. I like explosions.
Well, maybe later.
Special effects were always my favorite part of the stage.
No, I've got some very reliable friends who will make it seem like I am definitely brewing as much as will be necessary.
I mean, really, all you need to do is just go out there and put your name out there, right? Because, I mean, you're famous enough. People know you. Draw attention to yourself.
Yeah, that's the attention I want to bring. That's why I'm going to use other people.
So, Shen, you were going to say about having Chloe also in the building?
I mean,
Or
if we're
no?
doing it right fucking now, and we already got Victor on it, I don't really want to put her out there.
Okay.
Because it was the biggest thing was it's like we needed someone to stay there over a couple of days during the day, if that was the original plan. But since we're just doing a drop now, it would just be easier if she didn't go. Plus, I'm going to need her for him if he's planning on drawing the attention of the brewer directly.
Okay.
I've made, before we, if we can go back and do this, before we sent Celeste out with her batteries, I want to take a look over them, make sure that the Venture didn't try and stick any tracking mechanisms on them or anything. I want them to be actual, clean, legit. I don't want to put her in danger.
Okay. Sure.
That's what Victor's for.
Yeah. Go ahead and. What is your?
Do you mind if I look at
Insight's
number
3.
I'm sorry. Your what?
My insight is 3.
Okay.
You want me to roll that?
Yeah.
One success.
Okay. They don't seem to be marked in any way that you can tell that would be different.
Hey, we're good.
And you're welcome to check them out as well if you'd like.
two? Okay. What shall I use? I have investigation, awareness.
Investigation's got more
Investigation would
now.
be
Let's go with
best.
that
Yeah,
one.
okay. Investigation.
Ooh, a critical.
Yes.
Okay. You do see that one of them seems to have something that's a little off. You're not necessarily. How's your
Technologies
technologies
at
at
3
3?
as well? Yes.
Go ahead and roll one more dice for me.
Okay. Botched.
Okay.
Got a 1.
You're not quite sure exactly what's different about it, but there is something a little bit different about one of them.
Okay.
Is Trinessa in the room with us currently?
No.
Okay, Can I
to the
look at it?
fucking Ventru to not pay attention.
I have engineering, academics.
You can certainly try.
I don't know if I'm that good with car batteries, but so it's what, 2?
And whatever your hunger is.
However, your dice are, take the number of 10-sided dice equals the number of dots of the traits.
Yeah,
And you have to at least have.
oh wait, but it's a specialty, so 3.
Okay,
Yep.
and then you have to have at least one for your hunger die. Mm-hmm. So one of them has to be a hunger
Oh,
die.
so it's 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's 4 successes.
Are all of them 6? Are any of them 0s?
No.
Okay.
No, it's 8, 6, 5, and 9.
Okay, the 5's a fail.
Five's
Oh, 5's a fail, so 3 successes. I
3
forgot.
successes. And what was your hunger die was a success?
Yeah,
Okay.
6.
So you also see that there's something different between the 2 of them. You're not quite sure exactly what it is, but there's definitely something a little off about one of them.
They are subtle.
I just say don't send her with that one.
Okay.
Agree.
Call in Trinessa.
Yes?
This one won't work. Can we get one that isn't bugged, please?
Fine.
Thank you so much.
She swaps out the battery, hands it over to Celeste, sends her on her way.
Fuck adventure.
You expected otherwise.
No.
Would I be able to pay you to keep your fingers out of the pie?
Good luck with that, my friend.
Probably not.
Okay. I thought I'd give it a shot.
Sweetheart, I don't think you have enough money in the world to go ahead and pay me to keep my fingers out of the pie.
Just like a Ventru, though. All right. You know, maybe next time you can put your finger in the pie that gets you invited to the Conclave.
Oh, I was already invited to the Conclave in the first place.
Other than in your official sheriff position?
Oh, oof. Oof. Give it to the
Well.
Nosferatu to fucking hand me the nail in the coffin. Literally.
Better than a nail into the prince.
The sheriff is being nice. Let's not poke the badger with a spoon.
Nice. Nice.
Well, I mean,
Comparatively.
She bugged the battery.
that's par for course.
I was going to say, that's standard operating procedure.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I guess it would have been bad on us if we didn't check, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Still. Well, whatever.
Okay, so
Let's
Victor's
go
on
get
their
some
way.
drugs.
I already got some earlier, thanks.
No, I mean the drugs we need to make you brewer.
Oh,
Or your boy's bringing that up.
that's what the boys are doing right now.
Oh, okay.
How long's it gonna take them to get here?
Well, they're in LA right now, so
No, they're
I-
not.
no, they're not. Where are they?
They're on the north side.
Oh, yeah, I'm going hang out over there. Oh, okay.
Okay, so are you guys gonna go ahead and split the party at this point?
Well, I guess yeah, we're gonna go with him and go over to the north side. Well, I probably would have bought us like I don't know, someplace to live, right?
I mean,
At this point, how long have we been here?
A few months.
A few months? Then yeah, I definitely would have bought us a place.
What day of the week is it?
It is a Thursday.
Thursday.
Never could get the hang of Thursdays.
They were always my best day.
I record on Fridays and Saturdays. Or no, I don't record on Fridays and Saturdays because those are party days, so. Hold on.
Are you recording today?
Yes, actually, I am.
Shit.
Maybe company.
Oh, by all
I'm
means.
curious to see how this works.
By all means, darling.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to the north side, and I also have to go to the West Hills and go start telling Gangrel to defend their territory.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So she's going to, Alexandra's going to go to her studio and start prepping for the night show.
Okay. Aliana?
You're invited to come along if you wish, if you have nothing better to do.
I would, but there's so many piles of papers that I have to deal with.
You have my sympathies, dear.
I always do.
I'm gonna take you back to the north side to your boys, and then I'm gonna go out to the West Hills.
All right.
Because I know you're fine with them.
right, so you go ahead and hand off John to the rest of his crew
Yeah.
and head off to the West Hills. You guys are going to be setting up for recording.
At the studio, yeah.
At the studio,
And then
okay.
I've also got a report to write back to London.
It was a
All
pleasure,
right.
my friend.
So,
I hope I can call you that.
the West Hills have been, over the last 20 years, have been bulldozed, uprooted, built up, run back down, and built back up again into what the local humans think is a lovely wilderness.
Right.
What it actually is an overgrown park. The few gangrel that are currently in the area usually use it for hunting more than anything else, and tend to hang out more towards the cemetery area than anything in the Sylvan Hills. So you're going to head out there to see if you can find anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you have an investigation,
I don't have any pips of investigation.
survival, anything like that?
Not survival either.
Good Lord, man. How
You're
have you-
horrible, Gangrel.
You're a terrible gangrel.
I have 3 in intimidation.
How have you survived this
Rudolph
long?
thing, isn't it?
I have 4 in stealth.
You don't have any.
I have 3 in firearms.
You don't have any investigation skills?
No.
Yeah, you suck.
Well, I have the wolf, though. Can the wolf do anything for
The
that?
wolf can do. The wolf can actually.
Then I'll
go
have
ahead-
Chloe sniff around.
Okay.
Okay.
Have Chloe sniff around.
Chloe does the shit I can't.
There you go. And as such. She
She is my better
does
half.
come across a couple of gangrel who are hanging out in the cemetery waiting for the local goth group to come out from wherever they've been getting high, which seems to be, there's some sort of a crypt about 250 feet in from the main road.
I would have for sure gotten a gun when I dropped him off in the north side.
Okay.
Because we wouldn't have gone with guns to the Conclave. Feel like that would, maybe you did, I don't know, you might have been strapped, but who
look.
knows. I didn't.
Anywhere unarmed?
Well, I don't feel like a gun is necessary to kill vampires, but you know, it is what it is.
That certainly doesn't hurt.
No, it's not necessary.
It's
Oh,
decoration.
no, I'll make it hurt. Anyways,
All right.
I would have for sure gotten one just in case, because even I can be outnumbered.
Sure. Go ahead and roll stealth for me. Are you going to be stealthy to make sure that the local goth scene doesn't see you?
I'm gonna roll intimidation,
Okay.
not stealth. And basically, I just want to. Well, no, I guess I don't need to roll it. I'm just using my intimidation to like give off an air of "don't fuck with me"
Fair. All right.
as I walk into the graveyard with Chloe flanking me, but she's like a ways off, kind of slinking between headstones,
Okay.
but is still obviously within distance of me. And as I walk in, I kind of look around. Are people looking at me? I assume they are.
There's a small group of teenage goth kids who have decided that the crypt would be the perfect place to go ahead and get high
Right.
on a Thursday night, because that's what you do.
You know, like you do.
Like you do on
Like
a
you do.
Thursday
Like
night.
you do.
And then you
Get
got
high and listen to my show.
yeah, pretty much. And
I'm like, oh yeah,
there's
fuck, I have to do this quick. She's gonna go
there's
soon. I never-
there are two gangrel who are hanging out waiting to see who gets to pass out first, and so they can go ahead and have a bit of a snack.
It might be Becky Shire.
So it's up to you how you want to play this. You could try to intimidate the crap out of them, or you could try to stealth your way through to see if you can get the upper hand.
How many teenagers are there?
They're 5.
5. You said there were 2 gangrel?
2 gangrel.
Oh, this is a bad idea or not? I think I did anyways.
If you have to ask that question, that's probably a bad idea.
Probably a
should
bad
do it
idea, which
anyway.
means you should totally do it.
As I'm like walking up, like I'm walking quietly. I'm not like walking like super loud. I'm not trying to make myself known, but I am walking with an intimidating air.
Sure.
And I like make eye contact with the gangrels.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna walk up to the teenagers and just like fucking knock 2 out. Like very quickly.
Oh my.
Hell?
Okay. All right. Go ahead, and you're going to be rolling an attack. We'll call this a routine, so you only need 1 success.
Okay. And what I'm rolling what, my brawl?
Your brawl.
Because
Yep.
I don't have a weapon, and 1 is a hunger dice.
Yep.
That's a critical success.
Oh shit.
It's a messy crit.
That's
is
a
a
messy
messy
crit.
crit,
Okay.
You took one of their heads off. Good
yeah.
job.
Yeah.
You
You decked him and his jaw went flying.
you didn't necessarily take his head off, but you did manage to break one of their jaws, and the
Perfect.
other one's nose is considerably more flat than it was before.
But they're both out, yeah?
They are
and I
both
imagine
very
the other 3
out,
ran?
and the other 3 are
Or-
certainly. They are not quite sure exactly what they're seeing at the moment because they happened to be taking shrooms about an hour prior.
And right about now, Chris Tucker walks up and says, "You got knocked the fuck out."
I'm gonna snap and basically have Chloe like run them off. Like
Okay.
appear out of nowhere, just all like slavering wolf and run after them.
Yeah, no,
As I like
there's-
grab the 2 teenagers and throw them to the gangrel, I'm like, stop waiting for an opportunity, make your own.
Yeah, the 3 teenagers just pick up whatever they possibly can and run shrieking out of the cemetery. They will probably have some very interesting visuals to go ahead and handle for the next couple of hours and may or may not remember this tomorrow.
Yeah, and then I I take the 2 teenagers by like the back of their like collars and just toss them in front of the gangrels, and I'm like, what are you guys waiting for? Take it.
Dude, who the fuck are you?
Shh. I'm the person who owns this land now.
I'm sorry, what?
You heard me. But I came here to tell you that I'm not going to take anything from you. Or any of the other gangrel that live in this area. I don't know how the status amongst gangrel from the descendant of Xavier affects this.
You...
Because I'm talking to them as if I have 2 pips in status.
That's fair.
But yeah, I basically just say, I'm not here to take anything from you, but I'm here to tell you to start taking what you want. It's like the West Hills belong to the gangrel, and it's time that we owned the West Hills.
Yeah, in case you missed it, the last 2 years have been kind of a shit show, dude.
Fair enough. But times are changing.
Okay. What the
So-
fuck does that mean? We're just, we've just been out here doing what we can.
I mean, like all those like people that are like coming in and developing and whatnot and all this other stuff. What I'm saying is, turn the West Hills into chaos. Eat what you want to eat. Drive people out when they try to take your whatever, and actually turn this place into your territory. As the leader of the gangrel in the area, that's what I want you all to do. I don't want you to follow me. I don't want you to praise me. I don't want you to elevate me. I want you to do that to yourself. And if you know, I call on you or something, maybe you show up. Who knows? I don't know.
I know. I know.
But then he like and gestures to the teenagers. I go, you know, don't kill them if you don't have to, you know.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, we didn't necessarily want to injure them either. It's much easier to wait.
They're not gonna remember this in the morning.
Dude, they're gonna remember a broken fucking jaw.
Oh yeah, but they're not gonna remember how they got it. They were on mushrooms. I could tell that just by walking in here.
Dude.
What I'm saying is that I came in here and I watched how the city has treated you. Not just you, but like the Thin Bloods and even just the homeless people here. Like they didn't do anything to deserve to be looked down on. And I'm tired of people looking down on our clan for no reason other than the fact that we exist.
I mean, yeah,
So my opinion is, if they want to look down on us, give them a reason to.
well, fuck.
And if you want to get out of the West Hills, the north side just opened up for people like us. So, if you go down there, tell them Morrissey sent you.
I mean, the other one looks at him, looks at the other one. I mean, waste not, want not. Grabs hold of one of the guys, starts going ahead and drinking.
And he goes, and that's just the beginning, you know? It's like, I'm not here to take anything from you. I'm here to let you know that you can take more than you have been. You don't need to be cowed. Yeah, the fucking Ventru comes in and starts talking shit, punch him in the face. You know?
Well, both of them do succeed in not killing the teenagers.
Perfect. Good.
Well, okay, so now what? Just leave them here? I mean, if you're the supposed leader, what would you like us to do, leader?
Yeah, leave them here.
Wow.
What? Wow. I just came up and knocked them the fuck out for no reason other than to feed you two. You think I give a shit where you leave them?
I mean, it's...
Dirty fucking humans anyways. Who cares?
Well, this is going to be interesting.
I honestly
All
have
right.
more respect for my dog than those teenagers.
I mean, that's
She's
fair.
a good dog, though. Like, scratch her
Really
ears.
pretty dog. She is a really pretty dog.
Yeah, I'm not saying go on a killing spree, but I'm saying that if somebody tries to come into your place and take what's yours, defend it. And that's it. That's it. And when it comes down to it, I, as the I guess regent, I don't know what the fuck I am for this area, as the one that the people come to ask about this area, I'm gonna tell them that, yeah, this is our place, and if they want to try to take it, they can take it over my dead body.
That's kind of a mouthful.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Tell them to fuck off.
No, I'm talking about the kind of the label of the person that the people. What was that?
I don't know. Okay, so here's the thing. He goes, I'm going to completely level with you two. I don't know who sent me that invite to go to this fucking conclave out in Portland. But apparently they summoned a whole bunch of people from all the different clans, and they were trying to figure out who's going to rule this town. And I just wanted to make sure that there was a place in it for the gangrel, seeing as there hasn't really been one
So
in a while.
Now you're the Baron.
I mean, I guess. Is that the word for it? I don't know what it is.
I mean, that's pretty much about the closest that it comes to.
Okay. Then, yeah, sorry. I spent a lot of time on my farm in Michigan and not around people for a long time.
Well, congratulations, you're around people.
Ugh. Gross. Yeah, I know. But I also don't like the fact, like, honestly, like, I don't care about politics, but I don't.
You don't care about politics,
Yeah.
and you're the Baron.
Yeah. Because I
Wow.
don't. Because I don't think that it's cool that I walk around town and people look at me with disdain because I am a gangrel. So yes, I'm doing this for completely selfish reasons. But one of those selfish reasons means making it so that gangrel is a name that is feared instead of looked down on.
I mean, could be worse, I suppose. All right. Well, sure.
Spread the word to all the gangrels in the area. Take what you want. And if anybody has a problem with it, or if anybody tries to stop you, tell them to come to me.
Who are you again?
My name is Shea McDermott. On the pride of Clan McDermott, I promise you, you will have a place to stay here and nobody can take that away from you.
Okay, Clan McDermott. Got it.
Fucking damn.
I'm like, yeah, okay, close enough.
Oh, that was beautiful. Oh, beautiful.
Damn it, I like it.
All right, moving along. You arrive at your studio. And it's mostly quiet. You have usually one person that runs the front.
The board hopper.
Yeah, board hopper for you. And at the most part, for the most part, they know your comings and goings are whenever you end up being there. Oh. Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. Who do we have for screener tonight? Do you know?
I thought Rich was supposed to be here tonight, but I haven't seen him actually in like a week.
Yeah, I suspect we won't be hearing much from Rich. He didn't do his job properly.
Oh.
Yeah. You know that thing about you don't name the names?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can give a call to Sarah. I think she should be available tonight.
Yeah, can you do that? That'd be great.
Yeah, no
I mean, I
problem.
can go without a net if I have to, but I'd rather not.
Okay. Well, yeah, no problem. I'll go ahead and I'll give her a call.
Cool. Thank you. And I said, oh, by the way, this is my friend Elise. Elisa, my apologies.
Oh, hello.
She'll
Nice to
be
meet you.
hanging out with me tonight. She'll be in the studio, but she's not going to be interviewed or anything. She's just there to observe.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Is there Wi-Fi for the machine?
Yeah, here. And I hand her the
Brilliant. Thank you.
information for it. Let me know if I can, do anything to help. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and I'll give Sarah a call and have her log in.
Sounds good. Thank you. I'm going to go finish prepping for the show.
Perfect.
Thanks, love.
And so she originally had an idea for, just not necessarily a best of, but a basic update on some things. And then she got the thumb drive from Aliana. Aliana, do you know what the subject of tonight's show is? Okay, I'll come up with something. It's, I get it. Hints at a governmental conspiracy involving the rail yards and the rail lines in the Portland area and using them to secretly transport top secret materials without, doing proper safety protocols and whatnot.
Nice.
And
You mean like the DOA always
yeah.
shipping nuclear
DOA,
waste?
DOJ, shit like that.
DOE.
And so she starts looking through her contacts, see if she's got anybody in the military that she could pull in off the record. And
Oh, yeah. You've got, a good 2 or 3 people that would be more than, at least, if not happy to talk to you, they owe you.
okay, so she's gonna make one of those calls. So yeah. Let's see how do I want to approach this. Colonel, hi, it's Deirdre.
Deirdre! Well, hello.
Hello.
I haven't heard from you in a while. What can I do for you?
Might you be available for to come on my show for a little while tonight? I got some interesting news about rail lines and transports going through that probably shouldn't be. And
I mean, it's not something that it's that's classified.
But I can either go in and just roll this thing out as it is, which is not going to go over well, or you can at least come try and
Spin.
come give the military side of the things and see if I mean, if you want to come on and say that, hey, there's nothing to this, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to rip you apart for it. I just we need a little more of an official voice. If you need to reach, I understand if you need to reach out to your operations officer really quick and do that. I mean, I'm not going on the air for another hour and a half yet, so you've got some time.
Yeah, let me call someone. Give me a call back in about 20.
Cool. Oh, by the way, how did you like that? How was that trip to Aruba? How'd that go?
Really, really nice.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Is anything else I can do to help you again in something like that? Let me know.
Sure.
Especially if you have any more of creative tastes.
Yeah, give me a call back in about 20.
Thank you.
Am I hearing this?
She hangs up. You hear her side of it.
Oh, no, I've got aspects.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Right. Back to work.
About 20 minutes goes past.
Call him up. Colonel, how you doing?
So, yeah, we can talk about this a bit.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What I'd like to do is, you know the format of my show. The first hour is going to be just general backup, based, general news of the day with a slight spin, and then, any updates on previous stories. Then for the second hour, we're going to do, a segment on this, and then we're going to go ahead and take a few calls. Now, I'm not going to force you to go through, 2.5 hours of calls, because that'd be a dick move, and I don't operate that way.
I appreciate that.
But I would like it if you could stay on for at least a couple calls. We're just going to get the nut jobs who are going to, scream harp and, all that other chemtrails and crap. But
yeah.
But I'd like to get some, at least some perspective.
Sure.
At least make them think they're being listened to.
I can do that. Yeah.
Awesome.
We can do that.
So go ahead and expect my call probably in about, let's see, we got 45 minutes to air. Figure 11:15?
Sure.
All right.
I will be there.
Thank you very much. Talk to you then.
Okie doke.
Bye.
Bye.
Hang up, get the show together, and go through and do our thing.
Okay.
And proceed to make this man's life very uncomfortable in the nicest way possible.
John. Your boys have been busy. They've been doing a little bit of reconnaissance. They got a couple shipments that they just went ahead and rerouted.
Good. Well, we'll set up base and find a nice abandoned house somewhere. Maybe in St. John's or near Kenton.
No, I was gonna say I bought us a place. Remember?
No, that's right.
Well, yeah, but you don't necessarily want to go
Do you really
ahead
want
and
to
have
soil
your-
where you sleep?
Yeah. You do know of a place that's actually just off of Columbia and Fessenden. That is an empty fourplex. Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's right behind a gas station, fairly low-key, easy in and out, has a basement, which means that there's also sewer options that you can go ahead and have as an entrance into underground locations.
Interesting.
Sweet. And Eliana, your paperwork. What are you doing?
Paperwork. Go back to the little hole that I call my lab, just south of OHSU. Look up and see the tram go over. Like, stupidest thing ever.
It's a giant silver Twinkie.
It is. Giant
Trams are cool.
And unfortunately, the whole curiosity got the better of me. Pop up the firewalls, clear out the backtracks, start looking up Celerity Corp.
That's my girl.
Okay.
That's my girl.
Celerity is, for all intents and purposes, externally, its own corporation. It is legit, above board, owned by a fairly well-off family with ties to distant, but still they're very proud to say that they have ties to the English monarchy. As anybody with ties to the English monarchy decides to go ahead and do that. However, as you start digging, you start finding more backtracking. And you start finding rabbit holes to drop down into. And eventually you start finding the shell corporations that they are shuffling money into and out of. They have about 75 of them.
Get me your working pen.
It's called a pass-through, by the way. Just a bit of technical jargon.
And so as you go through and find all of these, you start noticing that there's more trails in and out of Hungary and South Africa than originally had been found with your initial dive into the dark web. And what it seems to be doing is they seem to be utilizing a lot of it's almost like they took a page right out of the movie Hostel.
Oh, Jesus.
Where they're taking local travelers that are Americans, getting them to go ahead and stay at their local, at little B&Bs and whatnot, and then disappearing them. And they don't ever come back. The problem with this is that when you follow that rabbit warren further on and another pass through, you find it ends up down in South Africa, which then passes through Aruba, which then passes through 3 or 4 other places, including going right back into Eastern Europe and in Yugoslavia, and then over into San Diego. Interestingly enough, the family that supposedly owns Celerity has no idea that they own Celerity. They haven't seen a dime. And there doesn't seem to be any one person that it's linked to that you can find so far.
Well, shit.
It's almost like the name was a clue.
Yes. Which clan do we know that has Celerity as one of their bailiwicks?
Oh, I know of one. Right?
So it's been about an hour.
You should have staked
digging
the
around
assholes.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, cool, yeah. Got up all my VPNs and all that
Okay.
good stuff. Start digging around.
So you start digging around. You're basically finding about the same information. You do find out that there seems to be a link between Celerity Corporation and a large industrial railroad corporation that happens to have basically hubs in every single major city in the United States. But again, you're no closer to finding out who exactly
Just running
is
the show.
connecting or running the show or anything.
Okay. Well, like any good web admin, got the book as I write.
Okay.
So yeah, just keep track of everything I've found. Doing it the old-fashioned way.
It's the nice thing about old-fashioned.
Yes, books can't be hacked. It's very difficult. Show.
It's time to start the show.
So we're going to start the show, or we're going to jump to the middle of the show?
We can jump to the middle of the show.
We got your
So
chrono.
you've been about an hour in. You've chatted about, the general gist of things that have been happening.
So, as we're coming back from break, I've got the colonel on the line. I'm going, okay, so, like I said, you give whatever the official word is, that's fine. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not here to roast you. But, it's try not to pull the obvious ones.
All right, fine. All right.
Thank you.
Your phone gets a text message
Okay.
saying, call me off air now.
I look up the colonel with them. And I'm sorry, what was the name of the guy at the front?
The board surfer.
Oh, the board surfer.
Sarah?
Well, Sarah was the
Sarah was the screener.
Sarah's
Right.
the screener. It was oh God. I didn't even remember his name.
Okay, his name's Timmy now.
That works. Timmy works.
There are those who call him
Tim. Hey, excuse me, Sarah, can you have Tim run a couple extra spots? Have him run the extended promo for the book signing next month?
Oh yeah, no problem.
Cool, thank you. And then she kills her mic and picks it up. Calls. Hey, what's up?
Where'd you send that general, colonel, whatever the hell he is?
What do you mean, where'd I send him?
Where'd he go on vacation?
Aruba.
Press him about his hostels down there. See how people are doing. We got a bigger clusterfuck than we thought.
Do I really want to burn this contact now? Okay, I'll see if I can work it in there. He's going to be blindsided, you know
he's
that.
not on there. Do it quietly. Do what you gotta do. You can make it seem whatever little hell conspiracy you want to.
Oh, you know I love a challenge.
But, yeah. That's where some of your traffic's coming from.
Understood, thanks. Catch you later. Then once the promo ends, I'm like, all right, you are listening to The Den of Darkness. I am your host, Deirdre LaDark. And today we've got an old friend of the show, Colonel Robertson's, joining us this evening to discuss the rumors of unscheduled and undeclared traffic through our fine city via the rail system. Is it just supplies, or is it top secret governmental things? Is it alien bodies? Is it human trafficking from Aruba to Canada? We don't know. Let's see what we can find out. And Colonel, how are you this evening?
I'm good, thank you, Deirdre. How are you?
I'm doing fine, doing fine. So, rumor has it that there's been a rather unusually large amount of train traffic that isn't declared on manifests that appears to be of military origin, way beyond what one normally sees shipping to the docks or the base. Would you care to comment on that at all?
Well, one of the things that we have found, honestly, is that our rail system is in definitive need of support. So rather than utilizing the local infrastructure that is I-5 and other corridors, we decided to change up and start supporting local railways instead. These are transportations that would normally be shipped via regular cargo. However, again, these are companies that have needed our support, especially in the last few years with COVID. These companies are in need of money and infrastructure, and we're able to go ahead and provide that.
So you're saying basically, if I'm understanding you correctly, that basically this is the military's attempt to help not only build back industry in the U.S., but to reinforce existing infrastructure as part of, say, the president's big plan?
Yes, and indeed. We do try to be as transparent as possible with what we are doing at individual camps and locations. However, as you know, it is only as transparent as we possibly can be,
Right.
considering it is the military. We don't want enemies of the state to have that type of information.
So we wouldn't necessarily need to be worried about anything Department of Energy, shall we say, coming through, or?
No, as you know, years ago, we had the Washington power plant. It was closed years ago, so there's been no in or out of any kind of nuclear power sources coming through in that particular.
So we're pretty safe saying it's not nukes.
It's not nukes. No,
Okay.
definitely not.
One of my sources told me that these suggested that they are top secret, potentially governmental research projects coming, not necessarily originating in the U.S., but coming from U.S. labs outside of the country. One area mentioned was Aruba. Another was Panama. Anything you can comment about those?
Government experiments are, one of the things that we do on a regular basis. I am not aware of any government-based experiments out of locations in Aruba or other Caribbean locations. But I do not have access to all things.
Okay. Do you have any idea how long we can be expecting these, or what sort of any concerns our listeners should have regarding this?
Oh, there's nothing honestly to be concerned about. In all honesty, it is simply just the military's way of maintaining our supply chain to and from our different locations throughout the United States and here in the Pacific Northwest. And we are simply attempting to spread the colloquial wealth around, not just with shipping and with trucking, but also with railway industry.
Okay. One last question before we take a couple calls.
Sure.
Is it standard for military transports to include large numbers of armed, secure personnel riding the rail cars with weapons showing?
That really depends on what it is that happens to be shipped. I am not currently aware of any of that happening at this time.
Okay. It's my reports are telling me that there's large contingents of armed personnel visible on the train, almost like, it's obviously we're not in a post-dystopian society or anything, but, borderline, Mad Max-ish as far as, the number of guards with the guns and all the other fun stuff. But, okay, so basically what you're telling us is we don't have to worry about it being nukes.
True.
There's nothing to worry about for our listeners or Portland residents. Let's go ahead and take a couple calls on it.
Okay.
And she goes to line number 1 and see what we get.
Deirdre, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, hi. I was just wondering, there's been a lot of talk about some influx of people coming from different locations outside of Portland, and we've been noticing a lot more people coming from, on the rail lines themselves. Is this something that is happening because of these, new...
Do you mean that they're riding the rails as part of these transports, or they're just using it as like forgive the term, hobos and transients?
I'm not saying either one way or the other. I'm just saying that, it seems really, really odd that we're having an awful lot more people suddenly showing up on railroads.
It's a good point. Colonel, and would you care to comment on this?
Well, I can only say that the rail lines that I am aware of are not carrying human cargo that I'm aware of.
I see. Well, very good. Thank you, caller. And we'll go ahead and take one more caller, then we'll go to news. And line 3, you're up.
I want to be the caller. My character is a listener, for sure.
Go for it.
It's gonna be weird. Hold on.
Hey, caller, what's your name?
It was, hey there, Deirdre. I'm so happy to be calling in. You know, it's me, Shadow.
Hey, Shadow, how are you?
Oh, you know, I'm doing okay. It's great. So I just want to say that I think the thing with the trains is probably like a second Inquisition. And
really,
it's possible that like the Christian people are trying to make Christianity the one true faith again, and there's going to be a war on religion.
A very interesting viewpoint, as usual. I would presume, Colonel, that there's not a tie with the Church or the Vatican or anything like that with this that you're aware of?
You know, this is the very first that I would be hearing of it. As you are aware, the United States military is supportive of all faiths as far as that's concerned. And I would really, I'm at a loss.
Okay. Shadow, what do you think would be the advantage of the Church doing this?
Well, I'm telling you right now. You remember how I told you last week that I thought that there were like Bigfoots in the forest?
Oh yeah.
Well, I think maybe that it's possible that there's more than just Bigfoots out there, and that maybe the Inquisition wants to get rid of them. And I don't know. Maybe like where do they stop? Where does it stop? Where does it stop, Deirdre?
Very good point, Shadow. Thank you very much for your call. Have a great night. Okay, well, as always, an interesting call when Shadow gives us a buzz. Colonel, thank you very much for taking the time with us this evening.
Sure.
And hope to talk to you again soon. And with that, you are listening to The Den of Darkness. I am your host, Deirdre Von Dark, and we're going to go ahead and go to news. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right.
Get back on the line with Colonel. Thank you very much for your time this evening, Colonel. I greatly appreciate it.
What in hell's name was that about Aruba?
My source mentioned it.
Your source can stop.
What's going on? You sound scared.
Don't push there. I'm telling you right now, don't push there. You don't want that.
Thank you for your concern. I appreciate it. You have a good night now, okay?
Yeah. Bye.
Timmy, what can I say? It's one of those nights, man. One of those nights.
It's a good show.
Thank you. I had a good time doing it.
Eventually, they'll believe me about the Inquisition.
And the Bigfoots.
And the Bigfoots.
That was just a cover. I just want people to care about the Inquisition. I don't want them to care about the Bigfoots.
And then she, proceeds to wrap up the show in her evening.
Okay. All right. So I think this is actually a good spot for all of us to close down tonight's show. We will pick up again in a month, and we will figure out where things are going, and probably have some answers to the Bigfoots.
The big feet.
The big feats.